Hi, I am Smith,
And I'm Srijan.
and we're both students of music and lovers of Hindustani music. And today we'll be sharing with you some beautiful recordings, archival recordings of Hindustani music, and share insights with you and context with you so that you can enjoy this music more and delve into more and just enrich your listening experience of this music.
Right. And this episode deals with the music of the Agra Gharana. It's in the last of a series of episodes that we've already done on this Gharana. And if you haven't listened to them already, I would strongly recommend that you do so because that will give you context for this episode.
So today we'll be talking about another Agra luminary. This is Acharya S.N. Ratanjankar.
Also known as Anna Sahib Ratanjankar. Ratanjankar ji, Anna Sahib, plays a very important role in this tradition. One of the reasons for which is that he functioned at a very critical and very interesting time in the history of this music. He was the disciple originally of Pandit Vishnu Narayan Bhatkhande. Bhatkhande ji is a larger than life figure in the history of this music. He is known as the democratizer, almost the modernizer of music. He was the person who gathered this vidya, this knowledge from across the country, from all the pandits and the ustads, and published all of these compositions and the science of this music in books, and just made it accessible to everybody. So Bhatkhande was sort of the point at which this scholarly tradition began.
Right.
Alright, in Hindustani music. And Anna Sahib Ratanjankar was the inheritor of this tradition. He was the heir of Bhatkhande ji. Bhatkhande ji, for instance, started one of the first and the most important music colleges in Lucknow, the Morris College, of which he was the principal, and after him Ratanjankar ji was the principal. So Ratanjankar was very much at the center of this reform of Hindustani music that Bhatkhande ji began.
Right.
So that in itself is huge, right? But the vision of the man of Bhatkhande ji was such that he wasn't content with his disciple being the inheritor of just a scholarly tradition. He realized the importance of his disciple having to study with a luminary performer. And the performer, interestingly, that he chose to send Ratanjankar ji to was none other than our beloved Ustad Fayaz Khan Sahib.
It is said that when Anna Sahib went to Ustad Fayaz Khan Sahib, his voice was of a very different nature, obviously, from Ustad Fayaz Khan's. But still, in his own voice, he could capture all the nuances and subtlety and the essence of Fayaz Khan's music. So much so that eventually Fayaz Khan Sahib would consider Anna Sahib as his musical heir.
Absolutely. And so let's listen to a recording by Anna Sahib Ratanjankar. This is a recording of the rag Yamani Bilawal. This is a combination rag. Alright, so you have Anna Sahib Ratanjankar, the scholar, thinking critically about combining rag Yaman with rag Bilawal and what that entails. Alright, the theorist on the one hand, the disciple of Ratanjankar, of Bhatkhande ji on the one hand. On the other hand, you have the performer, the disciple of Aftab-e-Mausiki, Ustad Fayaz Khan, turning this Yamani Bilawal into a very lilting, beautiful melody.
Right.
While still maintaining all of the characteristics of bol banao and of wordplay and of evocative emotion that we've already seen in so many Agra artists. Right? So let's listen now to Rag Yamani Bilawal by Anna Sahib Ratanjankar.
Ah
Wow.
Kya baat hai? So beautiful. So Anna Sahib was also a prolific composer.
Yeah.
And there are already, in his 3 volumes of
Yeah.
compositions, there are around 800 compositions.
Beautiful
that were published.
compositions.
So we thought we'd shine a light on Anna Sahib's music by listening to his disciples
Yeah.
sing his compositions.
Right.
So let's listen to a piece by Pandit Dinkar Kaikini. This is Rag Des. It's a Bandish ki Tumri, and this is again a composition of Anna Sahib.
Right.
So let's listen.
राग देश होरी खेला ने चले कन्हैया.
खेलन को चल कन्हैया, खेलन को चल कन्हैया, खेलन को चल कन्हैया, खेलन को चल खेलन को चल कन्हैया, खेलन को चल कन्हैया, खेलन को चल कन्हैया, खेलन को चल पाल पाल सब अतहि आनंद भर, गावत मधुर सुर बांसुरी की धुन पर, नचत नट नगर अत रस तो ताता थैया, ताता थैया, ताता थैया, होरी खेलन को चल कन्हैया. बाल 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 खेलन को चल कन्हैया, खेलन को चल कन्हैया, पाल पाल सब अतहि आनंद भर, गावत मधुर सुर बांसुरी की धुन पर, नचत नट नगर अदर सतो ताता थैया, ताता थैया, ताता थैया, होरी खेलन को चल रंग अबीर गुलाल लिए, रंग अबीर, अरे अबीर 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 गुलाल लिए, अबीर गुलाल लिए, भर भर झोरी तक तक भारत घुम घुम, रख हरख सुर नर मुनि कल कहे, गल गोकुल वृंदावन, धन यमुना तट ब्रज भूमि, धन धन मुरली धुन, धन न्यारो रात जैया, रात जैया, रात जैया, होरी खेलन को चल कन्हैया.
Wow.
Kya baat?
क्या बात है. I hope you guys got a sense of the celebration, the attitude of celebration that was there in Kaikini ji's singing. Now, of course, this is a song about Hori. Hori khelana ko chale kanhaiya. So the celebration is inherent in the situation. But I'd like to say that this attitude, this celebratory attitude, is there throughout the stream of the Agra Gharana. You might have noticed it in the other recordings we've played for you as well.
Hmm.
Right? So the Agra Gharana sings with this exuberance of celebration.
Also, I feel that this composition has such beautifully simple lines, right?
Yeah.
Simple melodic lines, one after the other, and it makes me realize that a composition does not have to be complex to be good.
Yeah.
And he makes the dhun of the rag, the melody of the rag, so apparent in his composition, and even Kekiniji in his rendition.
Right.
He stretches the words just perfectly, just little bit here and there, which is so beautiful.
Yeah. And the composition you have to remember is Ratan Jankarji's composition, Anna Sahib's
Right.
composition. And a little bit about him, he did most of his life's work in Lucknow. He was the principal of the Bhatkhande College in Lucknow at the time. And Lucknow had a very strong Thumri culture.
Mm-hmm.
It has had a Kathak and a Thumri culture historically that has been extremely strong since the times of Ajad Ali Shah. Right? And when Ratan Jankar was functioning there, that culture was still there. He was influenced by it. Which is why you find that dance like lilt,
In his
that
composition.
Nrityamayata of Kathak in his compositions. And like Thumris can also often, as compared to regular Khyal bandishes, Thumris are often more wordy. They have more words. You find that quality in Ratan Jankarji's bandishes also, in most of his compositions. They're very text heavy. Alright? But which in a slightly different way is again very conducive to the word play and the rhythm play of the Agra Gharana.
Right.
So that's why Ratan Jankarji also brings in a kind of a freshness and a
Right.
different relevance to his
Right.
tradition.
And then he raps, like especially in this composition, with that tihai at the
Yeah.
end, he wraps up all that wordplay and everything so nicely and neatly.
Right.
Come with the song.
Absolutely.
Chal